Long way, get this shit a long way, shit a long way. Long way, hit it long way, 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 shit a long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, every day we gotta get paid, I'm feeling like we be a new slave, no we gotta finish rich, no we gotta finish rich, got a new bitch, she don't understand, she don't understand, niggas gotta get rich, she don't understand, sometimes we got hit lit, no we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, tryna get the shit the long way, Cozy tryna wrap up a entree, told you the other day that did my phone show, we gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, get the shit the long way, my bitch be trippin' back and forth like a palm way, my name is Tari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done Tari, yesterday she told me that she about to leave, I said fuck it bitch, we gon' get some money, I said fuck it bitch, I'm about to get some money, so what I do today, I want to get some money, cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, back and forth like the palm way, man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way, just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy, we gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day, we be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for so we gon' get the shit the long way, 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 we get the shit the long way, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, we gon' get the long way,
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young, the founder of SMD. Make sure, okay, I'm not on mute. All right, welcome. All right, let me do a couple things here to remove this. Welcome, everybody. Snuggles, Alonzo, Kang, Nick, QJC, welcome. Early Birds, welcome. I'm enjoying this beautiful day in South Carolina. Love it here. Absolutely love it here. Summer starts early here, all the time, every year. All right. Welcome. For those of you that do not know me, my name is LJ Young. I am what do I call myself now? I'm just here to share my gift. And my gift is the ability to see negative numbers psychologically in a psychological, because capitalism is psychological. And if you have the ability to see negative numbers, first you got to figure out capitalism is psychological. Once you figure that out, you'll know everything I'm telling you, everything I'm saying. Anyway, I'm here to share my gift. All right. Because once you understand this gift, there are no limits. There are no limits what you can become, how much money you can make. You'll be able to navigate through this whole U.S. economy, basically all capitalist economies, like you're invisible. The majority of the basics of psychological capitalism is this: the majority must be in debt and not know it. The not knowing part is the psychological part. Like people in debt, they don't know that they're debt slaves. They don't know they can't own anything. If you have student loan debt, you can't own anything, right? If you have credit card debt, you can't own nothing. If you have car payments, you can't own anything. But they don't know that you can't save for retirement while having student loan debt. You can't have student loan debt older than your mortgage and claim that you're a homeowner, right? Because you can't buy, first of all, debt slaves don't know you cannot buy a house with a mortgage. They don't know that. You cannot buy a car with a car loan. They don't know that. It only takes one day to buy a house, right? You just walk in, drop the cash, and the house is yours. Debt slaves believe it takes 30 years. When you buy a car, you walk in the car lot, you drop the cash, you buy the car, and you leave. Debt slaves believe it takes 84 months to buy one car. That's the psychological part. They don't know that, okay? If this is you and you hear me saying this, and this is what you believe, I'm just telling you, I'm here to tell you that you are a debt slave. And if you want to come out of that, if you don't want to be like that anymore, this is the place. All right, here you go. I got the blueprint. I could just lay it out for you and say, take this way. All right, stop taking that way. Take this way. Okay, got it? All right, welcome. Welcome, everybody. What you say, Alonzo? The came through with the Al Green G unit. I only wear, well, I wear the white tank tops too, but I have to order my whites. I have to specially order them because my body goes down into like a V toward the bottom. So it's I have to order my tank tops, but I like these tank tops because they fit my body good, right? Oh, appreciate it, QJC. What's up, Nick? What's happening? Anyway, today I was going to, usually when I not walk around, when I look through videos, right? Like just different YouTube channels, and they start getting on the subject of money, right? They always, have you ever noticed that they always talk about six figures? Have you noticed that? And I'm here to tell you why they do that, okay? The majority of channels talk about six figures because the majority of people don't make six figures. Number one. Number two, debt slaves believe six figures is a lot of money. That's why they always talk six figures. Hey, if you're anybody, you make six figures, you make mid to six figures. Like, all you got to do is just go to the most popular channels. They always say people that make 600,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. Like, you're at this status. Like, if you make $400,000 a year, you're here. Well, statistically, I guess that could be right. But the bigger, in psychological capitalism, that's not a lot of money. Okay, I'm just here to tell you. I'm not telling you anything about my finances or anything. I'm just here to tell you that that's not a lot of money. And I'm going to give you an example. Say like you ran into Jeff Bezos on the streets. Okay, you say, hey, Jeff, do you think $400,000 a year is a lot of money? He'd probably look at you weird and just walk away from you. That's not. But the reason why that is because the majority, I think in the title, 5.4% of people in the United States make six figures. This is why the majority of people always talk about six figures. That's why they always do that. Have you noticed that? Every channel you go to, six figures, six figures, six figures, because the majority don't make six figures. What in the psychological capitalism piece, I'm here to tell you something. Debt slaves don't know the amount of money you make means absolutely nothing. They don't own nothing. They don't even own themselves. They own nothing. They think, debt slaves believe that it has something to do with the job, your college education, your political position, the color of your skin. They think all that. When you hear somebody talk like that, this is the first thing you need to ask them. Do you have student loan debt? Yeah, that's why you think it has something to do with the color of your skin. That's why you believe it has something to do with if you're Republican or Democrat. It has nothing to do with nothing. None of that. Those are debt slaves chitter chattering. That's called slave splaining. Okay. And when you come to hear SMD fam, that's called slave splaining. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just chattering. They just thinking of stuff to talk about. That's what debt slaves do. They just talk. They don't know. They don't know that they're in debt. That's the psych. I keep telling you. That's the psychological part. They don't know that. They don't know they own nothing. They don't know that no currency exists for them at all. It doesn't matter if they're making six figures. Say like you come across somebody successful that you deem successful, right? Because they look the part. Money doesn't look like anything. Okay, let's just that's the psychological part. Okay, remember that's the psychological part. All you got to do is say, "Do you have student loan debt?" If they're a professional, ask them. This is all you really need. Are you a homeowner? If they say yes, you say, "Do you have a mortgage?" Yes, and then you cut the conversation right there. They don't know that you cannot own a home with a mortgage. They don't know that. Don't bother trying to explain it to them either, because millions believe they're homeowners with mortgages. Do you know, like, here's another example. If subprime mortgages didn't exist, the housing market couldn't exist. Do you know that? It wouldn't exist. If mortgages, listen, if mortgages didn't exist, the housing market couldn't exist. Millions of debt slaves, millions, believe they're homeowners with mortgages. They believe that. This is how it must be. They must believe six figures is a big deal. That's not a big deal. What are you talking about? That's not what? Six figures? What are you talking about? 100,000? Who told you that? Next time you hear that, I don't care whose channel you're on. Next time you hear that, you get on the panel. Don't be shy. You get upset. Who told you that? Who told you that? The host? Who told you that? These are questions you can ask the people you follow. You can ask them these questions. Hey, are you a homeowner? They say yes. You ask them, do they have a mortgage? If they say yes, that's it. That's cut the conversation. That's it. Psychological capitalism. The majority must believe that they own something without owning themselves. If you have here's another example. If you have student loan debt, you own nothing. If you're making car payments, you own nothing. I don't care where you live. I don't care what kind of job you have. If you have a job, to put it this way, if your career is older than your student loan debt, you own nothing. Not even your career. You don't own you. Here is where you get the truth. Okay? That's the only thing I give you right here. If you want to be one of the most, you could be any, hey, listen, I can help you be anything you want. Navigate through any capitalist economy, because all of them are psychological. All of them. All you got to do is you take this information, 5.4% of Americans make six figures. Then you go look at the UK. Just look at all capitalist economies, okay? Go to the UK and type in, how many people in the UK make six figures? It's going to be around the same thing. Go to Australia, same thing. How many people here make? It's going to be the same thing. You're right, because they're all the same. The basis of all capitalist economies, the majority of the population must be in debt in order for capitalist economies to work. That's called the psychological part is the majority that are in debt, they must not know they are in debt. They must not know that they own nothing. So this is a hard pill to swallow. Say like you're listening to this video right now, right? In your house, on your phone, on your computer, whatever, right? And you know you're making a mortgage. You don't own that house. That's not your house. That's the bank's house. You in this house and you know you have student loan debt that is older than the mortgage you have right now. You own nothing. You are so far from a homeowner, your head will spin. You are so far. If you have student loan debt, now this is hardcore. This is a hard pill to swallow. If the amount of student loan debt you owe is more than the balance on the mortgage of the house that you are in, do I need to say any words? You're not you're not a homeowner. You never have been. And the if your student loan debt is more than the balance of the mortgage on the house, you'll never be a homeowner. You have to accept that you're not. You're a debt slave. Especially, like, think about it this way. Imagine how many people are in houses with mortgage balances that are 200, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, right? And they don't even make six figures, and they have student loan debt older than their mortgage. This is a tough pill to swallow. You have to, if you're in your house listening to this, you have to look around and accept that this house is not yours. The car in the driveway, the majority of you guys got two cars with two car payments. The cars are in the driveway, they're not yours. You got gap insurance. Now, if you hear me name off all this stuff and you have it, you have to accept that you are a debt slave, and if you don't get out of it, you're going to die a debt slave. Okay. You have two car payments, a mortgage payment. You got gap insurance. You're upside down in your car, credit card payments, furniture payments, washer and dryer payments, second mortgage. You talk about having a first and a second mortgage on your two mortgages on one house. You're a debt slave. It's a hard pill to swallow. I promise you it is. But if you ever want to get out of it, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to accept that you're a debt slave. You're going to have to accept that you own nothing, not even yourself. The majority of people that they might be your friends, your coworkers, the majority of people don't even own themselves. That's why you guys are friends at work. If your coworkers are your good friends, the majority of your friends are your friends because they have to be your friends, because you guys have to have work. You guys have to have jobs because you're debt slaves. Debt slaves have to work. Have to work. Is that you? Are you tired of that? Are you tired of listening to gossip channels? I know you guys don't think the two go together, but what that does, let me explain what gossip channels do for you. They allow you to temporarily leave your life to talk about other people with the same problems as you. Debt slaves do that. Debt slaves do that. That's what debt slaves do. Gossip, talk about other people's money, finances, other people making millions and doing wrong. That's, hey, whatever. Thinking that it has something to do with your political status. Hey, if these people didn't do this and those people didn't do that, all you got to do is log into when you think it has something. Let's put it this way. Let's go to the political, right? If you think it has the system has something to, the financial system has something to do with whether you're Republican or Democrat, this is what I want you to do. Log into your bank account and look at your bank account. Your bank account will tell you if there's nothing in your bank account is telling you it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with you. It doesn't matter. As long as you have money, that's the way it goes. Once you step outside the debt matrix where you live, you'll clearly see it has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with color, race, where you live, red or blue, who you voted for, what the president said, what the president did. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. If you're making car payments, you better stop thinking like that. You see how long the student loan debt has been on pause? Now listen to me closely. And this is you. If this is you, you gotta look in the mirror, okay? You see how long the student loan payments have been on pause? If you didn't make one payment during this whole pause? I'm talking to you. Only debt slaves do that. Because this pause was the time to take advantage of paying off your student loan debt with no interest. Over a year and a half, almost two, of no interest. This was the time to pay heavily on your student loan debt. But if you like the majority of people that believe, since the student loan debt was on pause, that you had more money at the end of the month, or you wouldn't finance the car or got into a house or whatever, you're a debt slave. And I have some bad news for you. That's exactly what they wanted you to do, to make you believe, since you were not making any student loan payments, that you have more money at the end of the month. That's what they want you to believe. That's your problem. If you don't know mathematics, that's your problem. The laws of mathematics govern finances and it will always be that way. What's up, NC Biggs? SOBC, what's going on? Yes, sir. I got a beard now. What's up, Omanike? QJC says, I wish this administration would stop kicking the can down the road with student loan repayment. Student loan repayment will start back May 1st. QJC, you got to understand the bigger picture here, sir. Okay. That is on purpose. They have to get everything in place because you got to understand, all you guys got to do is be aware, because when come May 1st, this is what's going to happen come May 1st. Everything the debt slaves have purchased on payments, of course, when I say purchase, payments, they won't be able to afford all that stuff anymore. Cars, houses. You guys are going to see something very big. You guys are going to see a very big change, but things must be in place before that starts, because they will not be able to afford all the stuff they have right now. They won't be able to afford it. Repossessions, all these people, all these debt slaves that you see with new cars, those cars are going to be gone. They're all going to get repossessed. Houses. They won't be able to afford any of that. Those days are done. And like I said, you see the title of this video, 5.4% of people make six figures. 5.4%. So all the rest of the people make way less. You got to remember, make way less than six figures that are not making student loan payments right now because of the pause. Ooh, come May 1st. Why they got debt slaves? You got to remember, for the people that follow this channel, okay? I want you guys to listen closely. They're keeping debt slaves busy. Gossip, politics, people, PPP loans, ripping off, blah, blah. They're busy. They have even though debt slaves logically understand that May 1st is the deadline, they're not thinking about it because they're keeping them busy. May 1st will be here. It doesn't matter if they kick the can down further. It doesn't matter. They're still, you guys, debt slaves they are in the can. Do you understand that? Debt slaves are in the can. They don't know that they're in the can. They don't know, but come May 1st, the can's going to crack open. They're going to be like, whoa, where have we been? What the hell? How much is my student loan debt? Oh my God. Oh my God. Bye-bye, new car. Bye-bye. And those of you that know, you better be ready. You ready for a new car? There are going to be plenty of them. There's already plenty of repossessions right now. You guys don't understand. I got friends that own car lots, right? They tell me the bank repossession lots are full right now. And May 1st has not even happened yet. When May 1st hits, I hope you guys that have cash, I hope you guys are ready. You ready to buy a house? You ready to get a nice car for a quarter of the price? I hope you guys are ready. I hope you're ready. Those of you that are out here struggling right now, not going out financing stuff, and then you're seeing all your friends on social media, maybe in your neighborhood, you see them with nice clothes and nice cars going on vacation. That's an illusion. That's all an illusion. That's about to come to an end. Don't be jealous. Hey, listen. Don't be jealous of anybody you see right now buying shit. Don't be jealous. This is all you got to say. Are you making payments? Yeah, that's about to come to an end. You know how many millions of people, millions, are scared as hell come May 1st? They're terrified. They're crossing their fingers, hoping that the president kicks the can down the road again. They think they're kicking down the road. They're kicking the can down the road to help. The new structure is just not in place. Everything is not in place to handle the onslaught of what this is. A very big change. It's like this. Let me help you guys understand this, right? This is a brand new economy. Look at it as the engine. Okay, psychological capitalism is the engine. Okay, capitalism is the engine, and the psychological capitalism is another place. So we're going to talk about capitalism. Capitalism is the engine that powers our economy here in the U.S. Okay, in order to rebuild that, because it's been running, this engine has been running for the last 100 years, 80 to 100 years, this particular way before 2020. You cannot rebuild an engine while it's running. You can't rebuild an engine while it's running. You got to stop it, remove it out, rebuild it, and put it back in. So everything has to stop. They rebuild the engine, put it back in, and start it back up. The new engine's running right now. It's running. Debt slaves, they don't know that. They got to put the debt slaves back in the engine, because you got to remember, the oil to the engine are debt slaves. Without them, none of this works without debt slaves, right? Debt slaves don't know that. The wealthy know this. The wealthy understand that. The wealthy cannot be wealthy without them. But debt slaves don't know the reverse. They don't know that. They are the oil to the capitalist engine. They're pouring the oil back in it. Okay? Now, May 1st, is a very large container of oil. They're going to pour that back in there. Maybe the engine wasn't ready for the first couple of dates, and it might not be even ready for May 1st. It really doesn't matter. But you better believe that oil is going into the engine. I don't care what date they set. It's going back in. That's how they own you. They own debt. Student loan debt is how they own debt slaves. You cannot get out from being owned unless you pay back every penny. Now, if you're a person that has put your student loan debt in student loan forbearance or whatever, hoping that they'll be paid off in 10 years, 25 years, whatever, debt slaves, whatever. You have told them that you are never going to own yourself ever. Forget about making six figures, 5.4%. I keep telling you guys this so you guys can understand it. Every time you guys go to different channels, they always talk about 6 figures this. You ain't shit if you don't make 6 figures. Why do they say 6 figures? Because debt slaves don't make 6 figures. They got 6 figures of student loan debt, though. Can you imagine? Imagine understanding this, 5.4%. So that means 94% of Americans make less than 6 figures. I couldn't even, put it this way, I couldn't even imagine having $100,000 in student loan debt, making $40,000 a year with a mortgage and car payments and credit card debt. And I'm talking gross. I'm talking gross. Ooh, woo. Only 8.5 million people make over $100,000 and 157 million. QJC says, LJ, do you think it will be a shift in the economy since student loans start back again? Yes, it sure will be. Debt slaves don't know that. They're sweating bullets right now. What are we in? Oh, we're still in February. They think May, they believe May 1st is way down the road. They believe May 1st. No, it's not. But you better believe they're in the background. Oh, Mr. President, please forgive student loan debt, please, begging like low down dirty slaves. Mm. Keep begging, slave. That's what they're saying. Keep begging. Beg, slave, beg. They're never going to free you ever, ever. You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. 45 million people in student loan debt. What's up, Robert? What's up, Wally? You're right about that, Army Belt. Bye-bye, new car. Bye. Bye-bye. Omanike says, many want Biden to remove the student loan debt. I laugh at them. I ask them, what about the investors? Crickets are my answers in the public, for sure. I might, you know what I might start doing, Omanike? I might carry around a cricket sound in my phone. When I ask certain questions, I'm going to hit the cricket sound. The pressure of the middle class is going to be hard. Put it this way, Wally. You got to understand, Wally. Economic classes don't exist. Lower class, middle class, upper class, debt slaves do not know economic classes don't exist. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're probably hearing me say that, you're probably saying, what the fuck? What are you talking about, LJ? This is what I want you to do, okay? For those of you that do not know, log into your online credit reporting. Go if you got Credit Karma, log into your Credit Karma, okay? When you log into your Credit Karma, you're going to see this big, gigantic number. They might have changed it, all right? It's your total debt. It's a number. Put a negative in front of that, okay? Put a negative in front of it. Take that number and think to yourself, which economic class do I belong with that number? Now, this is going to confuse you because it's going to be a large negative number. You're going to be like, wait a minute. I can't be in no class with a large negative. No, debt slave. No, you don't belong in. You know what class you belong in? The debt class. There's only two classes, the debt class and the non-debt class. There's only two classes. Economic classes don't exist, debt slave. That's why it's called psychological capitalism. You guys are made to believe that there's economic classes. Hey, if you make this much, you're poor and you're broke, you ain't got no money and this and that. If you make $30,000 a year, they do this shit all the time on TV and videos. If you make $30,000 a year, you're in poverty. You don't have, none of that is true, debt slave. That's psychological. That's a psychological problem. You think if you make, hey, listen, if you make $30,000 a year and you ain't got no debt, that's plenty of money. If you make $30,000 a year and you have no debt, do you know you're ahead of 99% of people in America? Do you know that? You probably don't know that. Stop believing channels that believe that you, if you make six figures, you're somebody. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's a trick. That's a psychological trick. And even this is what you got to understand. Even the person that might be hosting the channel, they might not even know. You don't know. I keep telling you guys this over and over and over. Any channel that looks like they have money, all you got to do is ask them this. Let us see your personal credit report. Let us see it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Let me see your personal credit report. They will not show you that. You know why? Because they're in debt. You think, put it this way, so you guys can understand how it works. Do you say, like, you pick the most popular YouTube channel, that person goes to the bank and wants a loan. Say like they want a loan, okay? Do you think the bank is going to give them that loan because they have 1 million subscribers? 2 million subscribers? You think that person's going to walk in the bank and say, hey, bank, I need a loan? They're going to say, well, what do you have? I have 2 million subscribers. The bank is going to say, why are you telling us that? What's that got to do? We want to see your credit report. That's an automatic. That's not even a question. You know, if you go to a bank, they're going to automatically want to see your personal credit report. They're going to want to see it. You guys know when you walk in the bank, you automatically know that. But between people, You guys don't know that. You guys don't, the same rules apply. 9 times out of 10, people that do that, the bank probably knows that they own most of their life anyway, their car, their house, their credit cards, and then you're coming to ask for more money. They probably already know. Monica says, I only made $36,000 in 2021 and all I had was a house. House gone now. Exactly. Antonio Craps. I read most Americans, including some making six figures, live paycheck to paycheck and can't cover a $400 emergency. Antonio, let me tell you something. That was me. I was making over six figures, living paycheck to paycheck. Sure was. And when I was in it, I didn't understand why that was. I couldn't figure out. This is when I was a debt slave, okay? A six-figure earning debt slave. I couldn't figure out why I was still living paycheck to paycheck, making $160,000 a year gross. Let me make sure it's clear. Whenever you hear somebody say, hey, I make this much amount of money per year, make sure you understand that that is gross. And if they're in debt, listen closely. If they're in debt, that means they're in a particular tax bracket. If they're in, no, well, not in debt. If you make that much money per year, you're just in a particular tax bracket. But if you're in debt, making that amount of money per year, you cannot reduce your tax bracket because people in debt cannot reduce their tax bracket. They cannot save for retirement. They cannot invest. They cannot 401k, HSA, stock market. They cannot do that. But they don't know that. When you hear somebody, listen, this is what you got to do. I'm telling you, when you hear somebody talking about investing, you ask that person, do you have a mortgage? If they say yes, stop listening to them because you cannot invest while having a mortgage. You cannot do that. That's 100% mathematically impossible. You cannot do that. Hey, you should invest in Bitcoin. You got a mortgage? Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Now don't say that out loud because they don't know what you're talking about. It's a psychological problem. You got to say that to yourself, to them. In your mind, you say, shut the fuck up. But outside your body, you go, oh, okay. You go, okay. In your mind, shut up. Shut up, low down, dirty debt slave. You don't know nothing. Again, that's internally. Outside, you go, okay. Where you going? Oh, I'm going to wash my car. You want my service? No. You want to take any financial advice from me? Nah, no, I'm good. You making car payments? Talking about investing? Yeah, no. Why not? You haven't invested in yourself first. That's internally, internal voice. Outside, okay. Because it must be this way. You don't take, hey, listen. You don't take financial advice from somebody making car payments. You don't do that. You don't take investing advice from a person that has a mortgage. Especially, here's another piece of advice. When somebody tells you that they have a mortgage, you turn to them and say, hey, what type of mortgage do you have? If they turn to you and say, I don't know, you really don't take advice from that person. You really don't. Oh, hey, I put 3.5% down on my house. Goodbye. Shut up. Shut up. You put 3.5% down on a house and you think you're a homeowner? Shut up. That's internal. External, you go, okay. Where you going? Oh, I'm going to watch the game. Always remember, 5.4% of Americans make six figures. So somebody on all these all these channels on YouTube, somebody's lying to you guys. Because if you get caught up in it, and you really start to believe these people are making all this money, you got to go back to the facts. Wait a minute. 5.4, somebody's lying. Trillions of dollars in student loan debt, somebody's lying. Trillions of dollars in car loan debt, somebody's lying. Trillions of dollars in credit card debt, somebody is lying. The bigger picture, the majority, it must be this way. They must not know. That's why I love what I do. That's why I love what I do. You know how much, do you know how much my specialty is worth? Do you guys even fucking understand that? Do you guys understand that? I change people's lives. Do you understand that? I change people's lives. Change them forever, forever. Once you come here, there's no going back. There's absolutely no going back. The sky's the limit. You can make as much money as you wish. Because you know, once you come here, you will know no currency, none. Gold, silver, paper money, no currency exists for debt slaves. Nothing exists for them. They just believe it does. It's a psychological thing. They don't know that. They don't know it doesn't take 84 months to buy one car. They don't know that. What do you mean it takes 84 months to buy a car? What are you talking? Oh, you're a debt slave. That's why you believe that. 30 years? You think it takes 30 years to buy one house? Something's wrong with you. You got a psychological problem. Internal voice, external voice, you go, okay. Never say more than okay. Because they don't know. They don't know it's not normal to have two mortgages on one house. That's not normal. What are you talking about, debt slave? With two, and you're bragging about that. Have you noticed when you're at work, all the debt slaves talk about having second mortgages, what they borrow, they paid off their cars and their credit card. Why do you think the bank reaches out to you and say, hey, the house value went up on your house. You can refinance the house and pay off those credit cards and cars. This is what debt slaves don't hear. Hey, we want all that bullshit off our books so we can lock it in something solid and tangible like the house. We don't want no worthless cars. We don't want those credit cards, those open, unsecured credit cards. A car is not secure. Credit cards are not secure, but a house is secure. So you refinance the house, meaning borrow more money from the bank, take that money that you're paying interest on, pay off the credit cards and the cars, because they know once you pay off the credit cards, you're not going to close them. You're going to reuse them. You're going to pay off the cars. They don't want that shit. Keep that worthless piece of crap car. Keep it. Now you're locked in because you ain't going to let go of the house. Your house is where you live is going to be the last thing you're going to let go. The very last thing. The whole time while you're calling yourself a homeowner, the bank owns the house the whole entire time. You own nothing, not including yourself. So when you walk in the bank asking for a mortgage loan with student loan debt, they're about to do you. Because you don't know, first of all, you cannot buy a house with a mortgage. You sure in the fuck can't buy a house with student loan debt. You cannot do that. They're about to do you, and they're about to do you good. With quality service, too. Hey, sign here. Have you ever, I've done this a couple times, too. You walk in the bank, and they got a stack of papers this thick. Sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here. You don't know what you're signing. While they got the keys to the house on a fishing pole above all the paperwork. Okay, go ahead and sign. Sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here, sign here, initial. You have no idea what any of that paperwork says. None, zero, none. You know what it says? I'm going to sum it all up for you. We own you because the house is nothing without you. Mortgages by people, not houses. When you sign in the paperwork, we own you here. You sign there, you sign here. We own you there. We own here. We own you. We own your fucking life. We own you. You don't own nothing, not even yourself. That's just, hey, that's just business. It's just business. It's nothing personal. Especially the people that walk into the bank talking about, oh, I'm not good at math. They'd be like, ooh, cha-ching. You're not good at math? No, thank you for telling us that, slave. Thank you. Well, we already knew that. They know you're not good at math as soon as they run your credit. They already know you're not good at math. Because if you don't know you can't buy a house with a mortgage, especially with student loan debt and a mortgage, you're definitely not good at math, obviously. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. I know they don't, Nick. Nick, that's on purpose. They're not supposed to hear me. The majority must not know what I'm saying. The majority don't even understand what I'm saying. You guys don't understand what I'm saying? Even though everything I can prove is on a calculator, everything. That's true. That's how it's supposed to be, Nick. You know what hey, Nick, this is what they hear. The Charlie Brown teacher voice. They don't hear nothing. QJC, it blows my mind when I hear people talking about getting into the Airbnb business, but don't have the cash to purchase the property. No. Mm-mm. You know the only people that are making the money, Airbnb, they're the only ones making money. Debt slaves believe they can finance them. Listen, they don't have the money to buy the property. So they think if they finance the property, they think they're making a profit. No, you're not, debt slave. You're not making nothing until the bank gets back their money. The bank understands that only 5.4% of you, this is what you guys really don't understand. Even though 5.4% of the population makes six figures, they don't tell you the percentage of the people that do make the six figures are in debt. So really think about it. 5.4% actually make six figures. Now, if they could run the numbers, you can't even Google this because Google won't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Wait a minute. What? Nobody's ever asked me that question. That's what Google will return that. Hey, how many of those, if you type it, you don't even know how to type it, but how many of those, the 5.4% of the people that actually do make six figures, what's the percentage of those people that are in debt? Google will probably malfunction. Well, wait a minute. Nobody's ever asked me that question. Why? Google will probably come back and say, why are you asking me that question? The majority, put it this way, debt slaves, you guys don't really understand. Google is a large database of debt slaves information. The majority of it, of you guys asking dumbass non-mathematical questions, and it's gonna, you know who's returning the answers to you? The banks. The banks are giving you the answers that you want, that you're looking for. You guys, all your answers are one big collective. You guys are talking to, the majority of you guys are talking to each other, returning the answers that you guys think what is and what you guys don't know. You don't know you can't buy nothing with no money. There's only one way to buy anything. That's cash. There is no other way to buy anything, to own anything, especially if you don't even own yourself. We did the voice at the Google will start to smoke. Sure will. It'll smoke up. It'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. Who are you? SMD, SMD, SMD. I can only imagine the people at Google that run that database. The bank is in the background. Hey, returning the answer for you guys. Mm, 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 mm. It's bad, but that's how it must be. You guys don't know to ask the question, okay, if 5.4% of people make six figures, what is the percentage of that 5.4% of those people that are in debt? Because the majority of the 5.4%, take out the rest of the debt slaves, which is 94% something people, remove them. Let's focus on the 5.4%. What percent of the 5.4% are in double that six-figure salary in debt, which means they're in debt, they own nothing? What do you think that, what's the percentage? Probably another 95% of the 5.4%. Hey, listen, the reason why I know this is because I was making six figures. I was going around telling people I made six figures. Nobody knows to say, well, even though you make six figures, how much debt are you in? I couldn't even have gave them that answer. Somebody could have came up to me and said this question to me. Hey, El, you make six figures, right? What tax bracket are you in? I wouldn't have been able to give them an answer because I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known. The majority of debt slaves have no idea about tax brackets, what tax bracket. You guys don't know to ask these questions when you guys get into these podcasts, and when they start talking about money. You don't know to ask these questions. Hey, what tax bracket are you in? If they don't have that answer, they're not what you think they are. Oh, I own this property over here. I got several properties. I own this. What do you mean by this? Is what you guys, when you hear somebody say, yeah, I own this, you got to say, what do you mean by own? Because if they have a mortgage, they don't own anything. You cannot own anything with a mortgage. That's a lie. That's a mathematical non-truth. Exactly. 95% of the 5.4% don't even own themselves. And I bet you, even at 5.4%, they say 5.4% of people make six figures. I bet you those numbers are fluffed up. That's probably a fluffy number. It's probably less than that. Because you got to remember, when they say 5.4% of people make six figures, are they talking gross? Because if it's gross, that means you don't make six figures. Are you not including? Are you including the IRS or are you not? Which one are you talking? Are you talking about gross or you're including the IRS's money? Okay, why are you including the IRS's money when you're not getting that money? That doesn't make any sense. Like when you fill out credit applications and you put down your gross income, do you understand, debt slaves? They base your monthly payments on your gross income, money that you're not even getting. When you fill out a credit card application to get some money, they go by your gross income. Why are they going by money that you're not going to get? Because you're a debt slave. That's why. 5.4%. You guys don't know go into that. How many of those guys are in debt? Probably 95% of those people are in debt of the 5.4%. What's the percentage of people that actually bring in six figures? Probably 1.2%. Debt slaves don't know that. You guys don't know that. You don't know that? What's up, Andre? Mm, mm. When I just think about it, I just be like, damn. Psychological capitalism. Absolute masterpiece. Masterpiece. Mm. Mm. True. Because you got to remember, the more you make, the more debt you have. You guys do all the same things. You get a raise, you get a bigger house, you get a newer car, you go deeper in debt. This is what you guys don't know because you guys don't understand tax brackets. When you make more money, you go up in your tax bracket, okay? That means more money is going to be taken. You work overtime. Hey, I'm getting in that overtime. I'm getting 80 hours a week. Well, that's what you think, but you're going up. And then what you guys do, you guys will go fill out a credit application. Oh, so bad. You guys will go fill out a credit application based on not only your regular income, your overtime income too is included in that. Higher tax bracket, higher monthly payment, higher interest. Oh my God. When I think about it out loud right now, it just, woo. In my experience, there are usually 10 to 15 years of gross income in debt. Years out. Like this is what I thought about during this past Super Bowl, right? I was watching the game, right? And I looked at that stadium. I was like, wow, what a beautiful stadium. It's called the SoFi Stadium. So I decided to Google SoFi. Their specialty is refinancing student loans. Do you know come May 1st, do you know how much money these fools are going to be making? Because when these payments come up, you guys won't be able to afford them. You guys won't. For two reasons. You can never afford the student loan payments in the first place. You're going to want to keep your stuff that you financed during the pause of the student loan debt because you're not going to want to let it go. SoFi is going to come in and say, hey, you refinance with us, we'll make you monthly lower payments and blah, blah, blah. Tell you whatever you want to hear. And in your mind, by refinancing it across, who knows how long they go, 30, 40 years of your life? Because if you're refinancing your student loans, guess what? They know you're not going to, well, they're going to find out how long you've had them. Okay, they already, right off the bat, they're going to know how long and according to how long you've had them, you're going to refinance them for another 10, 15, 20 years, meaning that you're going to be paying on them for the rest of your life. That's why that stadium looks like that. That's why it looks like that. Endless money. I wish I could just sit down with a SoFi CEO or hey, listen. I would walk into the meeting. I'd start right off. Hey, check this out. I understand that capitalism is psychological right off the bat, because I promise you, they will have never heard. They probably have, but somebody like me that walks in and says that, they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, he knows." Yes, I know. So I want to start this meeting off right now to let you guys know I'm not a debt slave, and I understand capitalism is psychological. Now I just want to know what you guys know. I just want to see you guys put the remaining pieces together for me. Just put them together. They probably is like, well, you see the stadium, right? That should tell you one big piece of the puzzle. Look at the stadium. We're anticipating May 1st. Debt slaves are going to come to us in droves, begging for our help, begging for it. What's up, Cosmic? LJ, you're assuming people are telling their real I know, especially in college, people lied and stated they made more money than they really did to get their those for sure. And you know what's so funny about that, Cosmic? I am sure people lie on credit applications. The credit card companies, they really don't care because they know once they run your credit report, they're going to know that you're lying about your income. They're going to know right off the bat. But it doesn't matter because they're going to take you. Because if you lie about your income so you can get a higher credit card balance, that is your problem. That's your problem. They're going to know you lying because as soon as they run your credit report, they're going to know you're a liar. They're going to know because the math is not going to make any sense. Say like you fill out a credit card application, you're deep in debt, student loans, you've been having student loans for the last 10, 15 years, and you fill out the credit application saying you make $80,000 a year, they're going to be like, that doesn't make any sense. But hey, whatever you want to, if you want to lie about it, that's your problem. They're going to review your credit report, which is what you guys don't understand. Credit reports are owner's ledgers. Credit reports mean nothing. Okay. They're owner's ledgers. So they're going to run your credit report. They're going to see how many owners you have, see which owners you haven't been paying back. They're just owner's ledgers. And then they're going to determine if you can afford to have one more owner. That's it. They're going to look at the owners and be like, okay. All right, who owns this person? Do they have room for one more owner? If you don't, this is where they kick you to the subprime sharks. The subprime sharks are going to pick your financial bones dry. It's just, imagine you're a big piece of meat, okay? And the bank is about to toss you into the water in a pool full of piranha. And you know when they throw the meat in there, they just that's what the subprime people are going to do to you. Buy now, pay here places, 29%, 29.99% interest rate, gap insurance, what's that one place? Car Shield, warranty. Hey, is your warranty out of? Hey, we can help you with Car Shield and this and that. Those are the subprime sharks that are going to pick your financial bones dry. They're going to take the last piece of financial meat on your bones before you are kicked completely out the financial game. Well, nobody will give you a loan for a candy bar. Nothing. When I think about it, ooh. Cosmic is so right. I'm assuming that you guys are telling debt slaves lie, but you guys lie about your income. Most of you guys don't even know how much you make. The majority of you guys, when you get your taxes done, you'll see somebody on the corner with a Statue of Liberty costume or an Uncle Sam costume, and you'll pull in there. You getting your taxes done by a person in a costume? Andre says, wow, debt slaves actually have multiple. Yes. All you guys got to do is log into your credit report and take a list of all your owners. Those people all those businesses own a piece of you. You are the stock. Economic classes don't exist. The stock market don't exist for you. Retirement accounts, HSA accounts, investment. None of that stuff exists for you guys, debt slaves. None of that. You guys have no money. What are you talking about? Why do you guys think the majority of people always say this, like these podcasts, hey, how much you think it takes for you to retire? You guys don't know that answer because you don't even own yourself. That's why they use that all the time. All the pitch sales. Hey, how much you think it takes for you to retire? $1 million is not enough to retire. Says who? Says who? Who says $1 million is not enough? That's a lie. That's not true. You could retire off $1 million. Yes, you can. And listen, invested in nothing. Say like you had $1 million of after-tax money in a bank. They always say the same thing. Hey, don't leave your money in the bank. It earns nothing. It only earns 1.5%. Whatever. Do you guys understand? That don't mean anything. That means nothing. They say that to you, debt slaves, because what? You have no money to earn anything. Even if the banks were paying 15% every month on the money, you have no money to put in there to earn anything because you have no money. They say that to you, so you'll put it in something else so they can earn even more money off of you. And they sell debt slaves to other owners. Yes, they do. They sell you guys. That's how debt slaves are traded. This is how it works. Okay, they trade debt slaves with you are tied to your debt. They can't say, I'm literally selling you. They sell you to, so you have a mortgage. Next thing you know, you receive some paperwork in the mail and say, hey, we're the new bank. You're going to send the money to us because we bought your mortgage. What they're really saying is, hey, we are your new owners. You have to now send your money to us because we bought you. They can't legally say that because slavery is illegal. But trading you with debt is legal. Have you ever had that happen to you? You've been having a mortgage for years. Next thing you know, you get some paperwork in and says, hey, we just bought the mortgage and now you got to pay us. They're saying we own you now. Now you send us the money. That's all. That's it. That's how they trade debt slaves. That's how they trade you guys. They actually mean million is not enough for debt. Million's not enough for debt slave. Well, they use the word million. You got to remember, these are, when you hear million, billion, trillion, those are words. When you hear those words are not money. Those are words. Those are words that debt slaves they relate to a billion. They picture a billion in their minds of dollars because that's what they show you on TV and videos. Those are words. You think a debt slave will ever see $1 million? No. Debt slaves will never see $1 million. What are you talking about? That's why they do that. That's why when they sell debts, like, hey, you want to live like this? You want to live on the beach? You want secondary multiple streams of income and all that. They sell you your dreams, debt slaves. They sell you what you want. They know what you want. You want freedom, but you don't have freedom because you're a debt slave. That's why you don't have freedom. You want it bad too. You're in debt. You can't have it because you own nothing, including yourself. You understand? You probably don't understand. At least 5 times my ex mortgage was traded. See what I'm saying, Omanike? New owners. Your loan is now being serviced by so-and-so. Exactly, Donovan. Your new owner, they can't say, hey, you low down dirty debt slave, I'm your new owner. You send me the money. You guys will catch on. Wait, you calling me a slave? You can't say that. You guys will catch on. Hey, we're your new servicer. They can't say, we are your new owners. They can't say that. That's illegal. Slavery stopped back in 1860 something. No, the wealthy said, hey, we became wealthy off of physical slavery. We have to think of something else or we're not going to be wealthy anymore. Change it to psychological. You make even more money. Psychological has nothing to do with color, race, man, woman, where you live. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. Democrat, Republican, Who's the president? Nothing. QJC says, so what? SoFi is in business with student loans. Wow, that's mind-blowing information. I was in LA last weekend. That explained why the stadium is so. It's so. All you guys got to do is Google SoFi. Soon as when I Googled it, it popped up right away. Hey, we will refinance your student loan debt. I'm not saying that's all they do. I'm just saying what I saw by Googling it. It said, we will refinance your student loan debt. I was like, Congratulations, SoFi. Congratulations. Congratulations, because student loan debt slaves are going to be, come May 1st, debt slaves are going to be begging for it. Please, 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 please refinance me. Please. What's up, Cosmic?
Enjoying life.
Enjoying life.
Enjoying life. How you doing, LJ?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
It's funny you brought up this topic about people making over 600,000, but it's funny people never think about it.
100,000.
Yeah, over 100,000, but it's funny that the number that really matters is what's your net, right? So, like, that's the number that I really value, because that's really the money you have to save, spend, etc. So it's curious how people say what they make, and sometimes I tell people what's your net, and they don't know that number. So they know what they know what comes in, but they don't know what's left after everything's paid, which is interesting. But I mean, what do you feel about people saying what they make? Because it's not really what you make, it's what you keep. Like, if you make 100,000 and your bills annually equals 100,000, does it really matter that you made six figures?
When I hear people always brag about what they make, what that tells me is that they don't make that. That tells me that they're telling me their gross income.
Yeah,
because I can't picture Cosmic. I can't picture like Cosmic. I can't picture you going around bragging about how much you make a year. I don't picture that.
I'm broke. That's what I tell people when they ask me how much I make. My default answer is always I'm broke.
Exactly.
I just don't tell people that.
Right. What's the purpose of knowing that the majority of people are in debt? Why would you go around telling people that you make X amount of dollars? That just doesn't make any sense. None.
Right. I mean, and if you do, I mean, you're just basically asking for CashApp requests in my head. You know, when you say that, I guess you open for business as the ATM, right?
Correct.
So that's why I really don't do those conversations. But you know what's funny, LJ, is that some people mortgages don't get sold. It's called a portfolio loan. Not everybody's mortgages get sold. It's called a portfolio loan.
Oh no, I didn't think everybody gets sold. I didn't think everybody gets sold.
But I forgot about it until you mentioned it, and that's when you can work out your own deal with the bank. But the bank has to believe that you're that trustworthy for them to commit to keep you on their books. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm, so it's interesting. I didn't even think about it that way. That if it's easy to give you a loan if they know they're going to sell it and get you off the books. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because they're not going to have you around. But if you get a portfolio loan where they're committed to keeping it, it's a whole nother different level of looking, right? Mm-hmm. The banks are going to really sniff you out to make sure, is it worth the risk of keeping that debt for you on their books? But in return, you can get the will and deal with the banks, and some terms, PMI, you may not have to pay that. You see, so it's interesting. I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it today.
Well, they're going to know as soon as they run your credit. They're going to know what category you're in asking for a loan, right? They're going to know if you're asking for a mortgage and you have student loan debt for the last 20 years. They're going to know. They're going to treat you accordingly for sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to qualify for a portfolio loan. They wouldn't even
Well,
want you
no,
on their
not for
books
that
if
type of
you're
loan. They're gonna
yeah.
point you to an FHA loan. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, they wouldn't even tell you about those other
Correct.
that bucket over there. So,
Correct.
but no, I was just
That's none of your business.
I
None of
was
your
curious.
portfolio loan be none of your business.
Speaking of savings minus debt numbers, I'm not sure if you saw that CNBC news article talking about net worth of where it was. I think it was like from 2021 to now. But if you haven't, you definitely want to check out that article because it breaks down the net worth of the average American and by groups, and it compares like spending power as it relates to net worth. So even though spending power went up, some groups' net worth went down, which was interesting. I'm not sure if you heard about that yet. I may post it on Discord, but it's definitely, you may want to do a review since, savings minus debt is really net worth, right?
Correct. Man, I got to see what their definition of net worth, because sometimes they will include net worth is include like properties that they claim they own, but they have mortgages on it. Right. And I want to make sure I understand what their definition of net worth really means. Properties actually owned or properties mortgaged, and it has equity in it. And then they will include the equity of property that they don't own into their net worth, because a lot of people do that.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, that is a common definition.
Mm-hmm.
To be a accredited investor, your net worth, they take out the house anyway. That won't even count. So I guess it
Okay.
depends on what realm, what
Right.
groups you're talking about, but that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
But
different
I'm
groups.
not gonna
Like
hold
I'm sure there's
you.
groups that you
Yeah.
belong in right now as Cosmic. You will know that's an automatic. You guys know that that's not included. The house is not included, et cetera, right? You won't have to explain that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I don't know anything because I'm broke, right?
Right.
So with
Right.
that being said, I'm gonna hump off this chat. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna start making dinner. But I'll have you on in the background. You guys have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Cosmic, as always. See, you got to understand, if you know the majority in psychological capitalism, the majority are in debt. You don't tell debt slaves you have money. That's you don't do that, right? I always tell people, debt slaves will never know, unless SMD goes public, they will never know how much money I have, ever. I will never say that, ever. I'll leave it up to their imagination. Oh, he only has so many subscribers. He's not making any money, blah, blah. Because you got to remember, debt slaves, when it comes to this field, this video making podcast, they go by subscribers. They go by the background, how they're dressed, what type of shoes they have, if they're wearing Gucci or Versace robes or whatever. That's what all they have to do is say, hey, podcaster, show us your personal credit report. That's all you have to do. Show me your personal credit report. I believe every word you're saying. Do like me. What's up, Sonny the Great? On the average, Black people's spending power increased, but their net worth decreased. However, every other race's net worth increased. See, I don't really, if you guys can, okay, try your hardest to break out of color. Try your hardest to do that. Break out of color in that way. Black people spending power, white people spending power. Because here, put it this way. If they would do a survey, this type of survey will never happen ever. If they could send out a survey and see which race trusts mathematics the most when it comes to finances, then you guys will see which race has the most money power. If they sent out a survey and say, hey, Black people, white people, how many of you guys trust mathematics? Always use mathematics when it comes to money. And then to get that survey back, then you guys will know who actually has the most money. You guys will not automatically assume that it's Chinese people, that it's the Jewish, that is that because you guys tie, when you guys start, like when they talk about, hey, a Jewish person, you guys automatically assume that they have money. You guys gotta stop thinking like that. It has nothing to do with your culture or your religion or where you grew up. It doesn't. I'm finally debt free. Paid off my student loan last week. Thanks for doing what you do, bro. Hey, congratulations, congrats for sure. Congratulations. Student loan debt gone. Congratulations. Too bad, Autumn, that you can only tell us. We are the only people that are going to be happy for you. Unfortunately, if you go out and tell debt slaves that you paid off your student loan debt, they're not going to really care. They're going to be like, why'd you do that? You could have took that money and invested in Bitcoin, and you could have took the money that you made in Bitcoin and then paid off the student loan debt. That's what they would have told you. Heat 777 says, to be any accredited investor, you have to make $250,000 for at least 2 years and able to prove it to the IRS, or have a liquid net worth of $1 million. This is all you got to do is prove it to me. Let me see your personal credit report. I don't really care about all the proof to the IRS. That's probably later down the line. But to prove to me, let me see your personal credit report. Let me see how you treat the business of you. If you're new to the channel, I'm gonna give you some piece of advice. In order for me or people like me or people in the SMD family to believe anything you have to say financially, we have to see your personal credit report first, because your personal credit report will show me how you've been treating the business of you. I don't care how many properties you own, the house you live in, the neighborhood, your job. Let me see the business of you. Nobody's going to treat entities outside of themselves better than themselves. That's not going to happen ever. Congratulations. That's huge. That is huge. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club of owning yourself. Welcome to the club. Getting out of student loan debt. Let me tell you something. So you guys you'll never hear this anywhere else. Okay. Student loan debt is how they create slaves. That's how slaves are created. Debt that you cannot bankrupt is how slaves are created. That's why since birth, okay, because student loans, the college is business. That's business. This is why since you were born, they always pound on your head, you're not going to be shit without a college degree. They keep telling you that over and over and over. By the time you reach 18, you will automatically believe that you will not be shit unless you have a college degree, even if you don't have the money to pay for it. You won't be nothing. That's why they always give out these statistics. Hey, if you have a college degree, college people with college degree earn this much more. Hey, if you went to Harvard, if you went to Stanford, you're going to make this much. No, none of that is true. That's not true. That is not true. Hey, I went to MIT. So what? You got student loan debt? So what? Like, say for example, like if you hear somebody that went to MIT, okay, you got to remember the connection is business. You hear somebody went to MIT, you automatically believe that they're smart. Automatic. All you got to do is say, you got student loan debt? When they turn to you and say yes, you say, if you're so smart, why did you go to MIT for 4 years and keep your student loan debt for 10? Did you skip math in MIT? They're going to look at you bewildered. They don't understand because it has nothing to do with MIT. All right. They're going to look at you did you skip math? They're going to be like, what do you mean? You went to college for 4 years, but you keep your student loans for 10 to 15, 20 years. What are you talking about? I don't care what college you went to. You're a debt slave you're an MIT debt slave graduate. You're a Harvard debt slave graduate. It doesn't matter what college you went to. As soon as they become adults, you guys are programmed throughout your entire life. You're not going to be shit without a college degree. You're not going to be shit without a college degree. You're not going to be shit without a college degree. You're not going to. As an 18-year-old, you don't know to turn to your parents and say, "Mom, Dad, yeah, you guys still have. Do you still have your student loan debt before I was born? Do you still have that student loan debt?" They're going to say yes. You can't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. Mom, Dad, your student loan debt it's older than me. How come you guys haven't paid it off? They're not going to have an answer for you because they still have it. They're not going to be able to answer that question if you, as a child, are older than your parents' student loan debt and you turn to them and ask them why. They're not going to have an answer for you because they don't know. Why they don't know? Because they're wrapped up in psychological capitalism. They're debt slaves. Mom, Dad, do you know you can't buy this house that we're living in if your student loan debt is older than me? You gonna buy me a car when I graduate? Yeah, you can't do that when you have student loan debt. You can't buy me a car, let alone this house we live in. Is the stock market general for debt slaves or just when you don't own yourself? It's for two people. The stock market does not exist for debt slaves. Why? Because you cannot invest in anything with no money. If you have student loan debt and think you're investing in the stock market doesn't exist for you, okay? Because you can't do that. The stock market exists for people with real money that understand that the stock market couldn't, like, put it this way. People with real money understand that the stock market could not exist without debt slaves. You think, here's another thing. If they said margin will no longer be accepted with investing in the stock market would shut down because it couldn't exist without it. What debt slaves don't know is that this is what they don't know, okay? They don't know that they cannot invest in the stock market while having student loan debt. So if they don't know that, they also don't know that the money that they're using is the bank's money at an interest rate to invest in the stock market. They're indirectly investing into everything you see indirectly with the bank's money. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, Amazon stock, whoever's in the stock market, they're indirectly, without knowing it psychologically, of course, they don't know that they're investing the bank's money into the stock market. Just like they don't know, same thing, listen closely. Just the same way they don't know that they cannot buy a house with a mortgage. Whose money are they using? The banks. Do you understand? The stock market could not exist without debt slaves. Everything you see, psychological capitalism could not exist without debt slaves. The wealthy understand this, okay? I understand this. The same way, when you come to this level, you got to understand. That's why cheating, scamming people, ripping people off, cheating on your taxes, lying to the IRS, at this level, that is not fucking accepted. Why? Because you don't need to do that. Debt slaves have nothing. They have nothing. They own nothing. They have nothing. They don't even own themselves. Nothing. So you don't need to cheat. Not only do you not cheat the IRS because you You don't have to cheat. You don't cheat people. You don't scam people that have nothing. They don't even listen. They don't even know that they don't have nothing. And you're gonna lie and cheat and scam. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do. That's not accepted. Not accepted. How do you see the people that understand this? Look at their personal credit report. That's why, listen, that's why I'm the only person on YouTube that went live showing my entire credit report. Go try to find it. If you've never seen somebody just like me, all you got to do is go to my videos, type in Credit Karma or something like that. I am the only person that has done that. Go find another person out of all the 37 million YouTube channels. Go find somebody. Go find somebody. No lying, cheating, scamming, stealing from people, anything financial. You know what? Any people that do that, you know why? The people that do that, they're debt slaves. Debt slaves steal from other debt slaves. They don't know that they all have nothing. They're stealing nothing. Nothing. Especially the ones that steal, that will trade the time in their life for money. Because if you get caught, you go to prison. Debt slaves don't know they have nothing. So they steal money that doesn't exist and lose the time in their life for money that doesn't exist, for paper. For paper. People going to prison for PPP fraud for paper. You're trading the time of your life for paper. Only a debt slave will trade the time in their life for money. Debt slaves do that. People that understand how it works, you would never do that in a million. Never, never. I would never do that. Never. Nope, never. Because debt slaves don't know that everything is mathematics. Everything. If you cheat on your taxes, if you steal from the IRS, whatever you're doing will never, ever make mathematical sense. Why? Because you're stealing. You're cheating. Cheating means the math will never make sense. You can never make it make sense. Thank you, Andre, for doing that, sir. Are you part of the 2% or the 98%? Once you get out of debt, and then you look at the stock market, you'll see a whole different stock market. Totally, like when you watch like financial channels, right? And you'll see these screens on the TV, all these numbers scrolling along the bottom and graphs doing all this stupid bullshit. That doesn't mean anything. That stuff's for debt slaves. That don't mean anything. That's for you guys to keep debt slaves confused. Oh my God, I got to know all that. The percent, all these numbers scrolling, and the digital, and this is going, and the stock market's bouncing up and down. That's for you, debt slaves. If you listen, once you understand you ain't got no money, you don't pay attention to that. That's none of your business because you ain't no money to do any of that. None of that. If you have a student loan debt, don't worry about what's on the screen. Don't worry about what's going up and down and the numbers flying across the screen. You don't have to do none of that. That's none of your business. None of it. That's a trick. Those are tricks. That's to make you debt slaves to believe that it's complicated. That's not complicated. I know. Listen, I know what you're seeing on the screen couldn't exist without you. Any channel that's talking about like they sound like they know it, I'm gonna go to that channel, I'm gonna just listen to them. Hey, yeah, you can. As soon as I hear something like they mention something like, oh yeah, the student loan rate is this, and you can invest in that. Oh no, just click. I'm out of here. See ya. Now I'm not saying what they're doing. If it's not illegal, if it's legal, I don't really care what they're doing. It's called business. I'm driving right now, so I can't monitor the chat. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. I keep forgetting a lot of people, and a lot of people, I noticed that, and I appreciate it. A lot of people are they listen while they're driving. I really do appreciate that. I like the way you explain things, make it sound so simple to understand. Lord, it is simple. Even the way you say it, I like the way you explain. You make it sound so simple. See the way you. I want you to rephrase your words. It is simple. Making it not simple is the part of the program. Making it seem like everything's complicated, that's part of the program. That's the psychological part of it. You can't walk up to a debt slave and say, hey, you know, the stock market don't exist. They'll look at you like you're bananas. What are you talking about? Yeah, you know you can't buy a house with a mortgage. They'll be like, what? Hey, you know it doesn't take 84 months to buy one car. What? What do you mean? All my friends are doing it. I know all your friends are doing it, but that's not true. You know you can't invest in retire. You can't invest in a 401k if you have student loan debt. What? What are you talking about? I've been doing it for years. No, you haven't. You can't do that. My job said if I invest 6%, they'll give me a match. What are you matching? You have no money to match anything. What are you talking? That's a trick. They get tax deductions when you do that. That's based on when they say we will match 6% or match whatever they say you're going to match. That's bait on a hook so you to put their money in there, so they can get tax deductions for creating a retirement plan that don't even exist for you. You can't invest in a retirement plan while having student loan debt. That's impossible. Can you imagine the title? Like, back to the title of this video. Can you imagine how they do the 5.4% of the people that actually make six figures? Can you imagine? You guys don't even know how much they are abused. How do I know this? Because I was one of those 5.4% being abused. Because when you make more money, guess what you think in your head when you make more money? I can afford higher payments. That's what you guys think in your head. I can afford a bigger monthly payment. I can afford a higher monthly mortgage. I can afford that. That's what you think, debt slave. That's what you think. Yes. See, look. Now, look at this. Don't buy stock, issue it. Huh? Can't compute. That's a debt slave. What the fuck? What's he talking about? Issue it. What are you talking about? Oh, he's crazy. He don't know what he's talking about. He only got 1,000 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers. They don't know. If this was true, he would have a multi-millions of subscribers. It can't be that way, debt slaves. It cannot. What's up, Andre?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, sir?
I was just thinking about you, all of us, newbies at the new job and training. And there's a young lady there. She was she had a stroke, but she came back, and all she kept talking about was, they match you in the 401k, they match you this, they match you that. I'm just shaking my head, man. I'm like, ooh, she just don't know. Ooh, they match you dollar for dollar. Yeah, they match you dollar for dollar. I was like, Lord have mercy.
That's a trick. You
Yeah,
see how it works?
Yeah.
They really believe that they're matching something. They really believe it.
Right.
They don't know that they're not.
Right.
It's bananas.
Mm-hmm.
How is the new job, by the way? How is it?
Oh, it's pretty cool. It's pretty. I mean, the thing is about this job though, they just got this big contract, and now they just trying to, they trying to do as much as they can. They accepted this big contract, and I guess you say, well, might as well accept it because the worst thing they can do is just fail. And they just, these young people don't understand why they walking around like chicken with their head cut off. Why they don't? And I'm just trying to explain to them they got this big contract and they just trying to make it work. So you just got to be patient with it.
What do you mean chicken with the head cut off? People are just running around crazy.
Because these people are trying to make it work. They took on this big contract. They really don't have the infrastructure to deal with it. So they're trying to deal with it. And that's the thing. So and I'm trying to show just be patient as you're at the beginning. So y'all will be okay. Just be patient with it. They're trying to make it work. They really don't have, the staff and stuff to make it work. That's what took me so long to get. I should have been there like 6 weeks ago. But now I understand what's going on. So they got this big old contract that's really, you know, over them, but they trying to make it work. So
Now, are people getting working a lot of overtime, or what? I mean, what's happening?
the management staff is working a lot of overtime because they trying to make, like I said, they trying to make it work. They really didn't have the infrastructure to do it, but they trying to make it work. So.
And what's overtime? Like 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week? What is it?
Oh, I don't know for the management. Man, they was like the guy called me. They don't work weekends, but the guy who called me and told me he got the job, he was there Saturday. He called me on a Saturday, and they're usually not working on a Saturday. But that's letting me know right then and there. They just trying to make it work, which is understandable. So
How
I'm
many
just
hours you
glad.
work in a week? How many hours you work?
I'm in training, so I'm doing
Okay.
I'm doing I'm doing 40 hours a week. So
Are you Monday through Friday?
yeah.
Okay.
It's Monday through Friday weekends. Oh man, I'm finna milk this so much, man. Especially with the information you gave me and stuff. Man, I'm finna milk this because I can actually, because they have like where you go in, you can work for like 3 hours in the morning, and you can leave for like 4 hours and come back and finish up. Man, because I just found out this gig job where you can actually go and get meals for this office, and you can get paid like $80 going to the same, just pick up meals for this office building and go there, and they pay you like $80 every day just to drop off the meals for the employees. I said, man, I'm finna work this so my money be paid off real soon. I mean, but man, I'm finna
Now this job is going to take care of the last little bit of your debt, correct?
Oh yeah. I mean, everything extra is going into this, going toward to pay this debt off.
Okay. That's good.
So.
That's good to hear, man. I'm glad to hear that, man. I can't remember. You're gonna have to come here and tell us, and when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, I'm most definitely, that's gonna be a day. You're probably ain't gonna be able to hear me because I'm gonna be so excited and yelling and shouting. I just want to see, like you said, it's a whole different feeling when you actually at zero or something. It's a whole totally different feeling, and that's what I can't wait for.
And when you get there, I want you to really, really understand what it means to get to zero, right? Because that's something that millions of people will never feel, get there, experience. Even if you tell a debt slave, hey, my net worth is zero, they won't understand what that means.
Right.
They won't understand. And I want you to really embrace that, man. It's something that zero places you ahead of millions, just like that, financially, just like that.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
That's why SMD was born, because when I got to zero, man, I couldn't explain the feeling. I was like, I didn't have nobody to tell because they didn't understand it.
Right. I mean, it's got to be an awesome feeling, man.
It is. It is. You're almost there. You're there mentally. It starts mentally first, right? You gotta have your mind set there, going there, and then once you're physically there, because the physical follows the mental.
Right. Yeah, because I just thank God I didn't get into student loan debt. Man, I think,
thank God you didn't. You're right about that.
I mean, not to put nobody down that has it, because they got a way to get out of it, but that was just one extra hurdle.
You know, it's so crazy that you say that. There's a lot of people out there that didn't go to college, and they feel bad, and they don't know. They feel bad or feel stupid or feel lower than in society because they didn't go to college. Not realizing that was one of the best moves they could have ever done, is not go to college, because they didn't have the money. They're like, hey, I'm not going to college. I don't have the money. That was one of the best moves they could have ever done.
Yeah, because they made me, especially like I said, in my church when I was a teenager, they made me feel, because I wouldn't want to go to college, wasn't interested in going to college. They made me feel like I was just lower than low, like, oh man, you're an idiot. Wow. Now I look at it now like, wow.
Congratulations that you did. Congrats that you did. Like, I didn't really do it until later. Luckily, I'm still not happy that I did it, but I didn't go to college till almost 30. I'm glad I was a little more mature to understand that. I'm like, let me, because there was a couple times when I got it, and I was thinking about, there was a few times I was like, man, maybe I should go back to college, man, get a higher degree so I can make more money, which would have added more student loan debt, because I hadn't paid off the first student loan debt. Thank God I didn't do that move. I'm glad I didn't, because it took me 10 years to pay off the student loan debt that I did pay off. 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's why. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't get the GI Bill and stuff, because they told me, you from Illinois, you get to go to school free. So I said, well, it don't make no sense for me to get it, even though I didn't realize at the time. If I would have got the GI Bill, then I would have came home. If I would have came home, went to school, all my GI Bill, everything would have went in my pocket. So, but I wasn't at that mindset at the time thinking,
I
but
mean, don't
still.
get me wrong. I'm glad I did. Well, I knew at an older age, I just scanned my environment and I
Hmm.
was like, computers are not going anywhere. I said,
Right.
so that's the field that I'm going into. And that's what I did. I just didn't randomly just pick something so I could say I have a degree. I was like, I need to find something that's going to make me money. And so I got into computers because I knew computers wasn't going anywhere. And
Right.
so that's what it was. Thank God I did because it allowed me to have the type of income to pay my shit off
Right. That's
quick.
cool. That's
Mhm.
good. That's one thing. Same thing. By the way, same thing I said about the medical field. Because unfortunately, everybody gets sick. Somebody always gets sick. So I say I'm gonna stay in the medical field. The thing I really wanted to do. I just school for years and years and years. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So, but
I
the
can only
support staff.
imagine when I think about the medical field, I can only imagine how many people are trapped.
Oh man, especially nurses and stuff. Something how they
Ooh.
feel trapped. They really feel trapped. Man, you would if you get nurses into SMD. Man, they would be so.
Oh
Oh
man, if I could let me tell you something, Andre. If I could get somehow SMD into the medical arena,
oh man,
oh man,
'cause
I
there's so
could
many
help
ways to make money.
so many doctors and nurses and
Oh yeah,
practitioners, and oh my God, I would change the game. Because
yeah.
I can only imagine how many, but I could maybe there's some people inside the medical field that there's some that love it, and there's some that wish they didn't do this because but they can't get back into, they can't leave because of the amount of student loan that they have. But if I could somehow get into that area and train them people to say, hey, you guys make good enough income to either stay or you can leave. But if you say like they love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get them to pay, create a plan for them to pay their student loan debt off, they would be running the game inside of the medical field, running the game.
Yeah. And the thing is about that, especially I learned about with doctors and half hand nurses and stuff like that are specialized. They get into around the people that have they have the Bentleys and have just living above their means. That's why they can't save anything because they get into that atmosphere and they got to keep up with the Jones because they got to have this certain they got to be able to go out on these days, be able to go out to dinner and spend it, go out to
Well,
these places and got to spend a lot of money.
I want you to also pay attention to what's going on now too. Pay attention to how many jobs are offering like student loan repayment if you work for us or whatever. A lot of jobs are starting to offer that right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What they don't really understand, what that means is that once you tell the job you're going to work for them because of that, the job knows that they own that person.
Okay.
They know that it's no different than begging for student loan forgiveness, right?
Right.
They know that if you come to this job and you're coming here because you're going to expose how much student loan debt you have, how long you've been in it. Now that job owns them.
Mm-hmm.
We own you. Especially, I can imagine probably the majority of the hospitals, they probably all offer student loan forgiveness or repayment or whatever. They know once you step in, they own that person, own them.
Yeah, 'cause they most definitely, especially now, trying to keep them because it's hard to keep them now, with this COVID stuff going on. So, but yeah, you're right. I never looked at it like that because I always thought when they say, "Well, we'll pay 50% of your, your tuition, and all that stuff," I said, "Well, you helping me to leave this place." But now I look at the way you said, "Oh, it really benefits them."
Because they want people to think like that. Oh man, if you pay for mine, I'll just get them to pay for it, and then I leave. That's a trick.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you think.
Right.
If they just take a step back and see the big ass hospital and see how much money they're making, you think as a person in student loan debt, you're gonna come in and trick them? Something's wrong with you.
Right. Because that was my mindset, man. If I do this and let them pay this, it's better for me. But like you said, now, like I said, talking to you all the game you're giving us, we're learning the truth, and it's like, wow, all psychological,
Now, I'm not saying if you go in, say like you're in the medical field and you do go to a hospital that's offering that. I'm not saying you could still take advantage of that. If everything else in your life is debt free, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you knowing that I'm going to this job, not only am I going to take my money to pay off my own student loan debt, this job is going to also participate in paying. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, right? Or, I would take advantage of that, right? But if the majority of people, they go in still going into debt, still getting mortgages and houses and cars,
Right.
and still thinking in the background, but my job is going to pay off my student loan debt. That's not going to happen.
Right. You're right. Because if you haven't changed that mindset, that, like you said, it's nothing. Like what listen to them. And they young, I understand. I wanted to tell them so bad, but their structures and that didn't want to get off topic. But man, because the one would say, make sure you get to the 401k, make sure you get. I said, oh my God. And everybody's listening to her because she's older, she's been there. So these young people looking at her like, she's got to know what she's talking about. She's been here for years. And I'm like shaking my head, and they're like, Louis, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing.
The younger you are, because you got to remember, the younger you are, they've never been in debt.
Right.
So when they come out of college let's say they're in $20,000, $30,000 worth of debt, to a person in their 20s, that might as well be $1 million. Because they don't know, the young people, they don't know to ask the person that has been at the hospital for the last 20 years, they're in their 40s and 50s, hey, how much student loan debt do you have? They don't know to ask that question. They don't realize the majority of the people at the hospital wish they had $20,000, $30,000 in student loan debt. They have hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt.
Yeah. And then another thing, especially in Illinois, we have the highest medical what they call it, medical insurance in the nation, because these judges giving out these high awards for for these cases. It's amazing.
Oh, you mean malpractice cases?
Malpractice, yeah. We have the highest malpractice insurance in the nation. Because, like I said, they paying, these judges are giving out these awards, man. They're giving out high, awards. Like, wow. I mean, I've known people who left, doctors and nurses who actually left here because of that. One of the reasons they left, because of that.
Yeah, it's one big psychological game. I get it. I mean, I totally understand. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's what it is, sir.
Well, all right, LJ. I got a couple of people watching and stuff. They trying to figure out what's going on. So they asking me. No, I'm at home. They asking me questions and stuff, and they trying to figure out.
Oh, you got a couple people watching the channel.
Yeah, watch the channel.
Okay.
And so they trying to figure out, what's going on and stuff. So
What did they ask you?
Oh, they was asking me, was this a live chat stuff? Basically, it wasn't too much. They were just trying to figure out is this a live chat? Is it, And so, when I say let them watch it, then they explain to them later what's going on. So, because like you say, for me, it's going to be a mind shock trying to explain to like me, for me to figure out, get pissed off with you at first and getting mad, and then hopefully like, oh, okay, now I see.
Right. Yeah, that's how it always starts.
Right. All right, man.
All right, sir.
Thanks again, and I'll talk to you later.
No problem. That's funny how it always starts like that. People hate me, and then they love me later. Many want to leave, but cannot leave the medical field because they have a lot of debt. They sure do. They do. They have. Medical debt is. That's way up there, man. That's a lot of money. But they don't realize that in the medical field, you have a really good income, and you can get out of that large debt quickly. But it takes sacrifice. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. You can't do that. You can't have the baddest car. You can't, you can't be going to work, going into the parking lot. And I get it. You go into the parking lot, you see Mercedes, Teslas. You think all these people are making all this money, but they're all making payments on these cars. You got to ignore all of that. Money does not look like anything. If they're making payments on anything you see, if they're making payments on it, it's an illusion. It doesn't matter if they know this or not. It doesn't matter if they know. You go to work, hey, I just bought a house. I just renovated my house. I just went on vacation. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they believe. It doesn't matter what they say. They're debt slaves. Talking out loud, slave-splaining. That's called slave-splaining. Once you become a conscious slave, how do you communicate with debt slaves at work? You don't. if you try to communicate with debt slaves, let me just tell you something. You're only going to frustrate yourself. Each time if you're speaking, it's when I'm talking about finances. Now, I'm not saying this. If you can talk to them normally, just don't talk about money. If you talk about finances to debt slave, you are wasting the time in your life. You talk to a debt slave for a minute about finances, you have just wasted 60 seconds of your life. You just wasted it because you're never going to get it back ever. Because they're not going to do anything you're saying. They're not going to believe you. They just think this is the way it works. Credit is everything. I need a credit score to buy anything, whatever. You're going to frustrate yourself. You do not. And then it's very difficult to explain, but there's a lot of slaves planning at work. You cannot associate yourself with debt slaves. You just can't. You can go out to lunch with them. You can hang out, laugh, whatever. But when they start talking about money, you leave the conversation immediately. Immediately. You leave. Omanique says, but they want too many things to say they've arrived. Yeah, they do. That's just part of it. I mean, you got to remember, psychological capitalism could not exist without debt slaves. It just can't. We need debt slaves to believe they own houses with mortgages. Because if they didn't, the housing market could not exist. We need debt slaves to believe that they can invest in retirement plans with no money. If they didn't, retirement plans wouldn't exist. You don't need a retirement plan to retire. You don't need that. You don't need a retirement plan to retire. The statistics they say on TV shows and money channels, hey, by the time they always give you these long ass graphs, by the time it reaches 2000 so and so, you need this much money because of inflation and deflation and blah blah blah. No, you don't. None of that is true. None of that. They always listen to the word average. When you hear the word average, they're talking about the average amount of debt slaves. When you hear the average person the average retirement account is that. Whenever you hear the word average, understand that they're not talking about you. They're talking about the average debt slave. When you become debt free and you own nothing, you owe nobody any money, you are no longer average. Say like this. Say like you paid your car off. Okay. Now you own your car. You have no car payments. The next time they bring on, you hear a statistic about the average car payment. That's an example. The average car, you automatically know that they're not talking about you because you don't have a car payment. You are no longer part of the average debt slave with a car payment. They're not talking about you. So when you pay off your credit cards and you hear the average credit card payment, they're no longer talking about you. The average student loan payment, you pay off your student loan debt, that you remove yourself from the average. You understand? That's how it works. All right, we're going on 2 hours here. I think it's time for me to get off. Any other questions before I leave? Getting hungry. I haven't ate. Only had a protein shake this morning. Looking into the Silver Fox crew, see if I can get up in there. Bunch of men with gray beards and in shape. Changing it up, switching it up. Time for me to expand any which way I can. Any questions? Is it intimidating? Am I intimidating? I should be. If you want your life to change, I'm your man. There's hardly anybody like me. Barely anybody. I'm not going to say nobody because I didn't create the system. I didn't create psychological capitalism. I did not. I discovered it. I didn't create it. So I'm not saying that there's nobody like me. I'm just saying the majority of people, they're not going to talk to you, debt slaves. They're not going to talk to you. If you don't own yourself, they're not going to talk to you. Because you're a waste of precious time. If you believe you cannot get anything without credit, the people that understand this, they're not going to talk to you. Do you understand? Because you are going to waste the time in their life. Once you own yourself, the time in your life becomes the most valuable thing on earth. Time is the most valuable commodity on earth. This is obvious. Why? Because one day you're going to be dead. Everybody dies. Of course it's time. So the people that created all this, they're not going to waste it on you making car payments. They're not going to explain anything to you if you think you got a finance car on sale. They're not going to waste their time talking to you. You think you're investing in your retirement plan and making car payments at the same time. You can't do that. What are you talking about? You cannot do that. Do you know how many people out there are giving stock market advice while making mortgage payments? Imagine how many people out there that are giving you guys financial advice while making car payments at the same time. Imagine the millions of people doing that. And you believe them because you see their house and you see their car and you hear they went to college and they're always telling you how much money they make per year. The people, you guys, I'm telling you, red flag is this. You get on a channel and somebody keeps telling you how much money they made per year. That is a red flag. They can tell you not alone that it could not be true. They could tell you anything. They could tell you anything. If they say it enough and get you to believe it, that's all they really want you to do is believe it. They'll say it enough to get you to believe it. And if you believe it, that's the goal. I appreciate that, Ricky. And also, Ricky, I want you to let the people know that I'm not even bragging when I say that. I'm not even bragging. It just is. And I'm here to share this gift that is with you. So once you get it and you become free, it is with you now. Not only just me, it'll be is with you. You might not be as outspoken as me or whatever. I deliver the truth differently than anybody else. The people that get this information, because believe it or not, there's more SMD family members in the background that say absolutely nothing. They won't even talk to you debt slaves at all at work. There's SMD family members at jobs. They ain't going to talk to you. They're not going to tell you nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. They don't want to talk to you because they know at the same time I understand we need debt slaves. We need them. None of this, debt slaves don't know this. None of this works without them. I know this. When I see a drive time commercial coming up and they say, hey, we can calculate your monthly payment. Who do you think they're talking to? They're talking to debt slaves. Somebody outside of you is calculating your monthly payment for a depreciating object with interest. Who do you think they're talking to? Debt slaves. We need them to believe that there's a company out there that can calculate their monthly car payment for them. They don't know. They don't know that. They don't know that. They're not that commercial's not talking to me or any SMD family member. They're not talking to us. If the majority knew what we knew, drive time wouldn't exist because they couldn't exist because we don't finance depreciating objects with interest. We don't do that. Appreciate that, sir. The average debt slave, but check this out, Ricky. The average debt slave that would pop on the channel, they would think I'm bragging. Who do you think he is? You think he's all that? His channel would be much, much bigger than that. He would have millions. I don't want millions of subscribers. I don't want that because that would change the game. That's no, we need debt slaves. Less means more for the value of my information. While the average person can charge $100 an hour, I could charge $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. And then when the person receives this information, you know what the average person comes back and says? I would have paid you 10 times that, LJ, had I known this. I know. I know. Let me put my email up here so you guys, anybody want to reach out to me? No, they're not. Most don't. They are regurgitating it's so crazy, Andre, how when you're walking around and you hear the debt slaves just, you guys think I'm joking when I say this. They're regurgitating the program since birth. It's weird to hear debt slaves that say, hey man, you ain't nothing without credit. You need good credit to buy a house. You need this type of credit score to do this. It's just a program. They don't even know that they're running a program. They don't even know it. You can't buy a house. It doesn't matter your credit score to buy a house. It takes cash. They don't know that you can't buy a house with a mortgage. They're talking about getting mortgages to purchase a house. They're talking about getting the bank to buy the house for them. They don't know that they're saying that. The bank requires this credit score in order for them to purchase this house for me. They don't know that they're saying that. Exactly, Rainy Woman. They're not talking to us. You think Drive Time is not talking to us. They're not talking to me. CarMax, they're not talking to me. But like you say, they don't know they're slaves. They don't know they're slaves, Ricky. They don't know. And also, Ricky, they must not know it. The majority must not know they're debt slaves. You know how hard it is? This is what you guys really need to understand. Do you know how hard it is to realize before even getting out of debt, you must first realize that you're a debt slave. Can you imagine how hard? Like, the only thing I can do is use myself as an example. I can only use myself, right? I knew, and this is what woke me up so you guys can understand. I just didn't wake up and realize I was a debt slave, right? This is what woke me up. I reached the so-called pinnacle of what debt slaves believe that is success: 6-figure, nice house, nice car, nice clothes, good job, college educated. These are all the things in the debt slave world believe that you are the pinnacle person. I reached that goal, and when I got to that goal, I was like, is this it? Even when I reached that goal, I was like, something's missing. So this is what I said to myself. I remember I was standing in my fancy high-rise apartment building, right? Inside my apartment, which I didn't own, okay? It was just a nice place. And I remember standing in my kitchen area because it looked over my living room area. I was like, this is it? So I do this and work at my job and stay here till I'm 70, work at my job till I'm 65, 70, whatever they keep bumping the retirement age, right? I stay here until that age, and then what? I knew something was wrong. That's when it first started clicking to me something was wrong. At that moment, I didn't know I was a debt slave, because when you're making six figures and you got everything around you that's nice that you're making payments on, you don't feel like a debt slave, because TV makes it seem like you're a bum on the streets. That's when you know you don't have nothing, because you're on the street. But these are the little things that woke me up. That woke me up. Another thing that used to wake me up, and you guys, many of you maybe have experienced this, maybe not. In Seattle, there's a lot of people that when you drive up the lights, there's people on corners begging for money. I used to drive up to the corner, and you see the person, you're trying to pretend not to look at them or whatever you're trying to do. But I used to stare at the person begging for money. And you know what I used to say into my mind? What happened? I used to say, I think it was more the universe. I was just saying to myself, I'm one job loss away from being that person. I used to say that to myself. And it was weird. I used to look at them. You know, you're looking at their clothes and you're looking how they're dressed, and it could be scammers. You don't know who it is, right? They could just be making up shit. But anyway, in my mind, I was thinking, I am one job loss away. No matter if I was making six figures, 'cause I was still living paycheck to paycheck, right? I was looking at the person outside, the beggar, the bum. I'm one job loss away from being a person. And then I would drive off and go ahead and turn my music back up and just not think about it again. I might have thought about it maybe a mile or two down the road, but then on my way, just not thinking about it. But every time I would see a person at the light begging for money, that used to pop in my mind. Why now that I'm outside the debt matrix, because I was a debt slave, but I didn't realize I was a debt slave looking at that person. TV will have you believing that a person that's begging on the street is out there because drugs. Oh, they're on heroin, they're on fentanyl, that's why they're bums or whatever. No. If you take the time to ask a person that's living on the street, you say, do you have a college degree? Because the majority will make you believe that the people that are on the streets, living on the streets, they don't have college degrees. Who told you that? TV. Did you used to have a car, house? The majority of those people that live on the streets, they will tell you, yes, I had all that. College degree, house, car. I lost it all. Don't believe everybody that you see on the streets don't have college degree and they're there because of drugs. That's a program, people. That's a program. Okay. That's not true. TV makes you believe that. All you got to do is sit back and think like this. If you lost your job today, how long will it take you to be kicked out of your place? 1 month? 2 months? If it's 1 or 2 months, that's a problem. You're no different than the person on the street begging for money. If if you can't last 1 month with no job, you are in trouble. You're in trouble. Say like you make six figures and you can't last 1 month without a job, you're in trouble. You got to look in the mirror and say, is it okay for me how long do I want to continue to live like this, pretending to the people around me? Because I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Those of you that live like that, we can see you. S&B family members, we can see you. It doesn't matter your stuff. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, Versace robes, shoes in the background, claiming that you have all this money. We can see you. You are fooling other debt slaves. You're not fooling us. We can see you. Now, instead of being insulted or bothered by, you got to ask yourself, well, how can you see us? How can you see me that I'm fronting and I'm pretending? That's what you need to be wondering. Well, how can I see you? Because capitalism is psychological. That's why I can see you. I can see you clear as day, clear as day. You can't see us unless we open our mouths and tell you this. Like the only reason why I exist, LJ exists, because I'm telling you. There's people way more advanced than me. I'm still catching up. I don't even know if there's ever going to be, I don't even know if I'm going to live long enough to ever even know the full picture. But we can see you. You can't see us. You don't know that, like, you don't know, like, if you make six figures, put it this way. Let me give you an example. Say like you make six figures. Say like you make $200,000 a year, right? In your mind, you think you're middle class. But say like you're $500,000 in debt. You have no money. The economic classes don't exist. The only class you're in is the debt class. You own nothing. You're in no economic classes. Economic classes are illusions. They don't exist. Debt slaves don't know that they don't exist. You guys are so worried about, say like the middle class, right? You guys are so worried about not being part of the lower class because you think you're in a class. You're not in no class. Economic classes don't exist. You own nothing. There's no money in your 401k. Now, I know, here's the illusion. I know you're probably thinking, if you've been at your job for years and you log into your 401k account and you see some money, that's an illusion. You can't put money in a 401k account if you have student loan debt. That's a lie. That's a mathematical illusion. That is not true. Let me give you another quick example. Mr. Dave Ramsey, which, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here on the mic with you talking to you guys today if it wasn't for Mr. Dave Ramsey. But here, I'm gonna show you the difference between business. He has baby steps, 1 through 7. Okay. The first ones, 1 through 4 or 3, say, hey, basically use math to get out of debt. Okay. Use the calculator to get out of debt. But when you get to baby step 4, which it says everything except your mortgage, start putting away money to retirement. Start putting away 15% into retirement or something like that, right? If you have a mortgage, you can't put 15% of nothing anywhere. That's called business. You cannot put money 15% into retirement while having a mortgage. That's 100% mathematically impossible. You cannot do that. That's called business. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't care. I don't care if Mr. Ramsey says that. So what? Okay, whatever. I know this is where I get off the bus. That's where I get off. This is my stop. Ding, ding. Why is it my stop? You can't put away money to. Do you know there is no better investment than a paid off house? Everything else you see is an illusion. There is no better investment than a paid off house. Imagine this. Imagine you pay whatever your rent or your mortgage is right now. Find something that is going to pay you that amount of money every single month. Your rent going into your bank account. Say like your mortgage is $2,000 a month, right? Go find an investment that is going to guarantee you $2,000 a month for the rest of your life into your bank account. Go find another investment. There is none. If you pay off where you live, you never have rent and or mortgage again for the rest of your entire life. Ding, ding. This is where I get off. Thank you, Mr. Ramsey. Thank you. This is where I get off. You're just making money. I get it. That's your business. Sorry. This is where I get off, though. I know that. Thank you, sir. Bye. Nothing personal. Right, Andre? Nothing personal. What's up, NYC? Ike, what's going on? Ain't that crazy? The average homeless person is above zero. The average person that you see on the street, they probably had no debt. They have more than you. But since they're not wearing red bottoms or driving a nice car, you think you have more than them. Shout out to HQ for the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. His back miss. What'd you say? His back miss. Have you got student loan? Good to have you on board. I'm not. What are you talking about there, HQ? His back miss. I think you messed up some words there or something. Not sure what you're trying to say there. Have you got student loan? It's just business. That is inflation adjusted as well. All right, man. It's 2 hours, 20 minutes. Let me get out of here. Appreciate everybody joining today. Much appreciated. Hope you guys learned a lot today. I really hope so. That's my intention, to share my gift with you. Again, here's my email, just in case. There you go. You want to follow me on Facebook? I'll be over there sometimes doing some things. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Okay. Thank you. I always forget this. Thank you for the people that send me cash apps, watching the videos. Much appreciated. And if you're listening, my cash app is SavingsMinusDebt. The $ savings with an S minus debt. Savings plural minus debt. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it, Andre. Thank you for helping with the likes and all the other stuff there. Much appreciated. All SMD family. NYC, Ricky. Everybody that joined today. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. All right, later.